Hello, everyone. I'm very sorry I couldn't be here for the conference this year, but I wanted to go ahead and try to present this paper to you. And if you have any questions, please do feel free to get in touch. The co-authors on this are Sarah Ehrlichman, who's a PhD student in the program of communications at Penn State, and Richard Worth, who is an IST. And I'm Mary Beth Oliver, so hi. So what we were trying to do here is extend research that we've been doing on inspiring media into the political realm to see if it could be used to enhance political connectedness with other people who are not necessarily within one's own political in-group, and further to heighten willingness to engage in political dialogue. So the background here is that we've done a lot of work on responses to inspiring media. We've looked at a whole bunch of different variables related to viewing inspiring media. Primarily, we've looked at affective elevation, feeling inspired and moved and touched by media. We've also looked at the behavioral outcomes, including heightened altruism, charitability, and finally, perceptual outcomes, including feeling a greater connectedness with humanity and increasing perceptions that people are basically kind, a kind world syndrome, so we're saying. The focus of the present study is to extend these findings, and the question we're asking is, can inspiring media and the elevation that results from it be applied to feelings of connection across political party lines? So with that in mind, basically, based on prior research, we assumed that exposure to inspiring media would be associated with greater affective elevation as well as feelings of connectedness with humanity. Those are findings that we've seen in prior work. But the research questions would be, how does this affective elevation result in, or if it does, feelings of greater political connectedness across people from divergent political ideologies? And finally, how do both of these variables ultimately predict willingness to engage in various political dialogue behaviors with people who hold opposing political opinions? So in terms of the method, these were college students. 230 ultimately participated, and about a third were self-declared Democrats, Republicans, and independents. This was an online experiment, and basically what we did was we asked people to view one of three inspiring videos or one of three non-inspiring videos. And then the stimulus materials, we used stimulus sampling, and we had three different instantiations of an inspiring video, three of a non-inspiring video. People would watch one in their own participation in the study, but if they were, for example, in the inspiring video condition, they would be looking at one of the three different ones that we provided. And if you're interested in learning more about these, you can look up an article that I have with Mike Slater and Marcus Appel, where we go into more details about the pre-testing of these videos. I will just say none of them dealt with political themes, so in case there's any questions about that. The measures, we used affective elevation, items that we've used in the past quite a bit. We also used a measure of connectedness with humanity, essentially feeling like that that people are generally beautiful and that we all share similar values. And then for purposes of this study, we had two items that referred to connectedness across party lines. So it doesn't matter what party a person belongs to, we're all Americans. This was a sample item there. We also asked them how willing they would be to engage in various political dialogue behaviors with other people who hold opposing political opinions, such as having a conversation, attending a political debate with them, asking them to explain a political issue. We also had additional control variables in there: empathic concern, gender, and then feelings of affiliation with Democrats, feelings of affiliation with Republicans. So in terms of the results, these are unstandardized coefficients, by the way, but in terms of the hypotheses, both were supported. It's just consistent with prior research. Inspiring media led to greater affective affiliation, and that was associated with greater feelings of connection with humanity. Affective elevation was also associated with heightened political connectedness, although to a much lesser degree, I will say. So that's weak support for the first research question. And as far as the last two research questions, neither feelings of connection with humanity nor political connectedness resulted in willingness to engage in political dialogue. So that wasn't supported. Neither one of those questions was answered in the affirmative. So just some concluding thoughts. Yes, affective elevation elicits greater feelings to humanity. The effects are much weaker in terms of connection to others who may have differing political opinions, and that neither one means that we are willing to engage in various forms of political dialogue. So here's some questions. When we picture humanity, and we say we're connected to humanity, are we picturing our in-group? That might be a possibility. Another one, are there other avenues to use elevation to foster greater political dialogue? For example, maybe some kind of politically inspiring video might be relevant there. But then the last question that I'll pose in this contentious time that we're in is, all inspiration really actually good for issues of social justice? We've always assumed all along that it might be and that it should be, but we're beginning to question whether or not inspiration is inspiration, and maybe we need to look more deeply into what inspiration means for people who have very different political viewpoints. So with that in mind, thank you. Again, I'm sorry for not being there, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. And please feel free to contact me. There's my email address. And I hope everybody has a great time at NCA. I wish I could be there. Bye.